So, you're going to start your first tutorial called Aurora. Let's go through what I like to call workflow. It goes a little like this. You're on my website and you found tutorials, and underneath tutorials right here you see the first one, Aurora, and that's the page we're on. It says this tutorial goes through the steps to creating a beautiful skyline above grassy field. I'd recommend making this image 800 by 600 pixels, and you think, okay, what do I do next? Well, in many written out online tutorials, they expect you to know a thing or two already. And maybe you do, maybe you don't. Let's get started. Go down to Photoshop and launch it. And if you remember when I had you save a file as a test, just to save it, there was a place where you changed the size. So we're going to go back to that. Whenever you start a new Photoshop file, you go to File, New, or Command N. And here we go. What did it say? 600 by 800? I think it was 600 high. It's set to pixels, that's what we want. By 800 wide pixels. And 72 resolution is just fine. That's screen resolution. So it'll look good on a website, look good on your screen. Won't print out very well, but we can change that later. We're going to name this Aurora. That was the name of the tutorial. And hit OK. Alright, now Photoshop is up. There are a couple things we can do. If you look on your keyboard and you press and hold the Command key and then press Tab, you'll notice that all of your open programs come up. It's kind of like an Insta-dock. And if you keep hitting the Tab key while holding the Command key, you can switch. So watch, I'll let go, and I'm back to the tutorial. So I can scroll down and go to the next step, which says fill the area with a tan color. The other thing I can do is go down to the dock and notice that I could just switch by clicking on Photoshop, and there I am, back to Photoshop. Some students like to be able to see both windows so that they can click back and forth like so. That's the idea. Alright, so we need to find the bucket tool. It hides behind, paint bucket tool hides behind the gradient tool sometimes. So you notice click and hold and you'll see different tools. We want paint bucket tool. And we're going to pick a tan color, so I go down here to the color picker and scroll up to a golden color here and try something like this. And I can change that by scrolling up and down. I think that's going to work pretty well. Hit OK, and then I just click once and the whole background turns tan. Alright, I'm ready to switch back. I press and hold Command, Tab. It already knows I want to go to Google Chrome. I release, and I'm back. Now it says create a new layer. Alright, so it shows this little icon here. Let's figure out where that is. So I click over here, and right away, I know something's wrong because I can't see the layers window. So I go up to Window, click here, and scroll down till I see layers. I could also hit the F7 key, would help me do that. Now, my layers window comes up, but it's on top of what I'm working on. So I'm going to move it down here, and now it's one of these windows I'm looking at. Okay, so here it is. Right away I see an issue. I need to shrink this whole window down a bit so I can see everything. Do you see how that works? Sometimes the dock gets in the way. So you want to make sure you have enough room. See how the dock is kind of coming up on me like that? I don't like that. I want to have plenty of room. Here is that little icon for a new layer. So I'm going to create a new layer and then press Command Tab and go back to Google Chrome. Okay. Then it says press D to set the colors to black and white. Then click Filter, Render Clouds. Let's give that a shot. I'm going to press the D key on my keyboard and watch down here what happens. There, I pressed the D key. Now, let's say I press Command Z to undo. I didn't want to do that. Command Option Z, Command Shift Z is a redo. Let's see here. We want to step back. No. Step forward. And make our layer again. Alright. So I've changed the color to black and white. You can also do that by clicking right here. That changes it to black and white, or pressing the D key. Then it said click Filter, Render Clouds. Here we go. What happens is you can see that I've created a layer on top of the background that has this cloudy texture to it. So let's switch back to the tutorial, and I'm just going to click on it here. There we go. And it says change the layer's mode from normal to vivid. This makes the clouds, well, vivid. Let's give it a try. So the layer mode is right here. So I'm going to click on that and come down to vivid. And indeed, it made it more vivid. And what's happening is these two layers are mixing together because I've changed the mode. It's allowing some transparency to go between them. Click back to the tutorial. What's next? Change the layers mode. Oh, we did that. And keep pressing Command F to redo the clouds until you're happy. Well, this is kind of neat. So I'll click back and Command F. Let's try it. Okay, they changed a little. They changed again. Changed again. I'm kind of picky, aren't I? Let's keep it with that. All right. Back to the tutorial. Now, brushing in a green area. Once again, create a new layer. This is something you'll do in Photoshop quite a bit. Always a good idea. So I click on Photoshop, create a new layer, and then it says choose a fairly large blurry brush from the drop-down list and brush in an uneven area at the bottom of your image. They must be talking about this. Alright, so I'm on this new layer, go over to the brush tool, click on it, and here is the drop menu they're talking about. So a large blurry brush. Let's see what this one does. 20 pixels. Make it a little larger. And let's see what happens. So I need to pick a green. So I went down here to color picker, and up came color picker, and I'll slide this up till I'm in a green. And let's pick a green, something like this. Hit OK. And now I'm going to brush in. You can see that this brush is kind of fuzzy. Right? The edges of it are a little bit faded. So I just brush in this area of grass, clicking and dragging with my mouse. That's good. Alright. Command Tab, choose Google Chrome, back to the tutorial. Adding grass and a title. Once again, create a new layer. Alright, I've taken you about halfway through. Let's see how far you can get from here. Thank you for learning.